Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and today we're talking about sneak peek number 6. Yes, I know that you already know that we're getting Sentinels, but this is just too cool for me to pass up or to ignore or to gloss over. And so I just had to. So here we go, sneak peek number 6. Prepare yourselves for battle. It seems like the last encrypted transmission was only the beginning. So this for sure means that the update is coming next week. As we predicted, we should get patch notes in the early hours of the 23rd, so 2 or 3 a.m. And then the update should hit later on in the day on the 23rd into the 24th. And then the update should be live. The patch should be live on the 24th on the Wednesday at about 2 or 3 a.m. Eastern time, and that's when I'll be live on Twitch, so don't miss that. But this means that this is probably the last sneak peek. If it's definitely the last sneak peek, and it's a big one. It's pretty epic, I have to say, and it's so cool and it's so cinematic and it's so intense. And man, as far as sneak peeks go, this is one of the more movie-esque ones that we've gotten, and it's original in a lot of ways. And all they say at the bottom, this is an invasion. And come on, you got to give it to Netmarble on this one. The music, the sound effects, this is so freaky. This is so fucking cool. All those Sentinels, and then you got the big boy up at the top, and we'll discuss who the big boy is in just a minute because we're going to get more clues here, but I just had to. I mean, there's really no more information that you need, but we're going to go through it anyways just so I can have an excuse to play this video a bunch more times. This is the Chinese, or the Taiwanese Mobirum. There apparently was frequent earthquakes. I guess that's what they're referring to. The sounds of all the Sentinels. They go to the scene. This earthquake was a very large mechanical weapon, and it's a brutal Sentinel robot, and we need to stop the threat. So now it's pretty clear that whether or not the Sentinels are a character, we are definitely also getting, I say also because I'm not sure, a game mode around the Sentinels because we have to stop them. Because if the Sentinels were only a character, we wouldn't have to stop the Sentinels because there's no kind of antagonistic us versus them situation if it's just a character, so that's not the case. Now, whether it's a world boss, for example, where they did something like we have to stop Apocalypse or stop Thanos in the Black Order, those are both characters and game modes. It's unclear whether it's world boss or something else, and we'll get into that a little bit later, but we have a new task to stop the threat of the Sentinel robots, and of course, you get the badass music, the glowing red eyes by the dozens, and then the big boy at the top with the glowing chest. The battle will be very intense, they say, so please ask agents to be prepared. We go over to the Japanese Mobirum, and I know the text is super small, so we can zoom in here. But again, same thing. It's something about an earthquake. There's a huge mechanical weapon that they overlooked. Violent master mold among Sentinels. So this is the first one where they actually use the word or the name master mold, and we'll get into who that is. But that is essentially the main antagonist behind these Sentinels, and it's not Trask after all, because apparently Trask has lost control of Master Mold. So new content. I love hearing that. I get a huge smile on my body whenever I see the words new content regarding Marvel Future Fight to stop the threat of Master Mold. So I love that. And no, Master Mold is not living in your walls, and it's not something that you need to be careful of when buying a new home. It's actually a thing. So once more, we get this is so cool because this feels almost cyberpunk to me. This feels almost kind of like some sort of dystopian future, and the X-Men deals a lot with traveling back and forth through time. You have people like Cable, you have Bishop, you have so many time traveling characters or characters that are linked to time traveling that it's just so awesome to feel that in something as small or as kind of just a piece of the puzzle as a sneak peek. Here, finally, on the Korean Mobirum, and keep this in mind, guys, I'm not going to do this for every single update, but you know how much I love X-Men, and seriously, this is so cool with all the Sentinels. I had to do this again. Less for you guys and honestly more for me. Natasha rushed to the scene, something about earthquakes again, and then do you find out that there is a very bad, he's been a very bad boy, Master Mold among the Sentinels. We need your strength to stop the Master Mold threat. We need you. New content to prevent the Master Mold threats. Again, new content, immediate smile erection. And once more with feeling. At the bottom there it says, we're expecting a fierce battle, so be prepared. News about powerful mutants. That should be Magneto, Emma Frost, Nightcrawler, Gambit, and hopefully a uniform for Storm, and possibly Iceman. And Sentinels that you can meet at Marvel Future Fight soon. Details will be disclosed. So that is, of course, referring to the patch notes. Now, the patch notes, as I said, will be coming out usually on the 22nd, or the 22nd at night, so which is technically the 23rd. So the Tuesday at about 2 or 3 a.m. in approximately 5 days. 5 days and some hours, or 4 days and some hours from when you're reading this, watching this, whatever, do the math yourself. It'll be coming out, the patch notes, and then we will see exactly what we're going to be getting. Now, as far as Master Mold and what we can kind of expect, but also what we can kind of learn from maybe where Netmarble is drawing their inspiration, because what's interesting is as we've narrowed down what Netmarble is possibly looking at, all of my previous predictions as far as Uncanny X-Men, Dark Avengers, whatever, I think all of that can just be thrown away, thrown aside, because I do think that for once, I don't know, maybe not for once, but I think they're drawing on the X-Men animated series. Yeah, Master Mold does have roots in the comics, but the animated series is one where specifically Master Mold betrays Trask. So we've talked about Boulevard Trask before. We covered his history in yesterday's video. If you haven't seen it, it's very interesting. It involves lots of medieval weaponry. But essentially, Trask builds Master Mold, and Master Mold is basically a super giant Sentinel. He's like 10 or 20 times larger than a regular Sentinel. So picture like Big Papa and then little baby, or like Big Bear and Baby Bear. And then Big Bear can basically create more bears, or in this case, Big Sentinel Master Mold can create more regular Sentinels inside his body. So he's kind of like a mobile Sentinel factory. Super weird and cool, right? But basically Master Mold is a human, because humans are technically human factories. Well, at least some humans, not all humans. But anyways, we're all technically human factories in one way or another. And so what happens in the animated series, and if you want to check it out, if you want a really brief synopsis, if you haven't seen the X-Men animated series, I recommend that you watch all of it, but it is a lot, and for those of you that need to find subtitles or need to find it online, it might be difficult. You can search on YouTube, because I don't want to show you the video clip because I don't want to risk getting in trouble. Just type into your YouTube search, X-Men the Animated Series, brief part, Master Mold, first clip. And it's a 1 minute and 17-second video, and that will give you the gist of what happens. I believe it's in the first season or the second season of the X-Men animated series regarding the X-Men and Master Mold and Trask. And so Trask builds Master Mold, and he tells Master Mold what to do, but then Master Mold's like, nah, bitch, I'm way smarter than you. I'm going to run this motherfucker. I want to take the brains out of all these world leaders and replace them with robo-brains that I can control. So he's like some crazy super AI, essentially, and he realizes, or he at least thinks, that Trask is not capable of protecting humans from mutants, and that Master Mold can do a better job if he does it himself. And so he's kind of like, you know, I'm a machine, I'm smarter than you, even though you built me, Mr. Human. Kind of the classic AI turns on its master type of scenario. And that really echoes what Netmarble has been saying. Trask's creation betrays him, and what happens. And so basically, I don't think Trask is going to be in the update at all. I think it's going to be very focused around Master Mold, and he basically attacks us, basically everyone, all of the heroes and villains in Marvel Future Fight, because they're all humans or mutants in some way. I mean, I guess some of them are aliens, but whatever. We're all going to get roped in together, and then we have to destroy him, or we have to fight back. Now, how this could pan out, how this could play out, is kind of up in the air. But I do have two pieces of speculation for you guys. As you know, I always come prepared. The first one, because they decided to use the word invasion in at least one of the sneak peeks, I believe it was the English sneak peek, said an invasion is coming or it's an invasion, could be a clue that we are getting a third week of World Boss Invasion. Now, this is probably the least exciting version of events because, of course, as much as I like World Boss Invasion, and to be honest with you guys, I used to love World Boss Invasion when it first came out. Then I got kind of tired of it after a few months, and I was kind of, oh, World Boss Invasion is lame. I was trying to be too cool for school about World Boss Invasion. But now I've kind of warmed up to World Boss Invasion again. And even though it's too easy and it's over too quickly, and sometimes the rewards are kind of lackluster, even though they're still really good, it just doesn't feel like it's not meaty enough. It's almost like you order a burger, but the patty really shrunk because they overcooked it. So you have all these other delicious ingredients, but then the meat is just this small little dinky patty. So that's kind of how I feel about World Boss Invasion. And so if there was going to be a third week of World Boss Invasion surrounding the Sentinels specifically and Master Mold, and perhaps forcing you to use mutants, I would love for it to be, at least 5 times more difficult than World Boss Invasion is now, because I think that's really what people want. Is they want some kind of challenge, and that's where most players that I've read and seen their reactions to it, or heard their reactions to it, they're worried because they don't want Netmarble to take any existing content and turn that into something with the Sentinels, because most of the existing content in the game lacks challenge. Alliance Raid is a perfect example. Pretty cool game mode. It's kind of over too quickly. There's no challenge. So if we got a Sentinel Alliance Raid, that would be cool, but it would also suck because it's such a cool thing to do, and then it's wasted on such a small, insignificant amount of time because it's just over too quickly. It's like you get to go and do karate with Evangeline Lilly, but you only get to do karate with Evangeline Lilly for 30 seconds. Would you really be, I mean, you would do it. You would definitely do it. You would definitely do karate with Evangeline Lilly or, Tom Hiddleston or Chris Hemsworth or something like that. You would definitely do karate with that person for 30 seconds, but you want it to last 10 minutes. You want that karate to feel like you're really getting a workout in. And that's where other game modes, possibly World Boss, like a World Boss Ultimate Sentinel Edition, would be a lot better, or possibly some sort of Shadowland type game mode, or even possibly a new type of game mode, which would be kind of like a wave mode. And I think someone on someone on Twitter, I've been reading comments everywhere, guys. Someone on Twitter put it best when they said, what if, I think it was Chills, what if we got a COD Zombies version of Sentinel Wave Mode in Marvel Future Fight? I think it was Chills for real. So shout out to him. And that would be, obviously, my number one choice. A new game mode that's challenging and that's kind of, quote-unquote, endless, where you just have wave after wave of increasingly difficult Sentinels that ultimately becomes too much for you. And then your rewards are scaled based on how many stages you completed, how many of your characters died, how many survived, how much HP you had, and how long you lasted, I guess. And that would be probably most comparable to, in Shadowland at least, those floors, like these wave mode floors on floor 4 or whatever, where you have one central boss, possibly Master Mold, and then you have waves of enemies that continue to spawn, and you have to kill Master Mold, but you also have to kill those enemies, and if they overwhelm you, you're basically going to die. And while a lot of the wave modes in Marvel Future Fights Shadowland are easy, there are some that are surprisingly difficult. I believe on floor 13 or 12 or 14 or somewhere around there, there's a Sif wave mode that's crazy hard. I think it's the boss mode on floor 12, because the enemies that are summoned are from the Asgardian Chapter 12 missions, and they have penetration on their arrows, and they shoot you nonstop with the arrows, and so even with immunity and things like that and invincibility, they still hit you, and you just die, basically. I think they're these guys right over here, and so you have to wipe them out really quickly, and even when you bring in strong characters, if they don't have enough AoE, if they don't have enough damage, they just die. And so Something like that honestly would be fantastic. But of course, we're going to have to wait and see, and all of this is just speculation, and it is hype, and it is kind of optimism, which I know some of you guys like and some of you guys dislike, but I really can't contain my excitement for X-Men and X-Men related content, so you're just going to have to deal with it, okay? This is me at my kind of peak happiness and peak optimism and hope and faith in Marvel Future Fight, just before an update comes to shatter me into 1,000 little pieces. Finally, I have one tip to leave you guys with, because I keep seeing these kinds of questions bouncing around on Twitter, on on Twitch, in the chat and stuff like that. Who should I tier 3? I have enough materials. Should I tier 3 Deadpool, or should I tier 3 Captain America? Hey, Cynicalex, I just saved up enough crystals. By the way, you look really ugly today. Should I buy the Magneto pack, or should I buy the Psylocke pack? Any kind of question regarding a big purchase for real money or crystals, or a big investment in terms of resources, even for resources that you don't think we're going to need for the next update, i.e. Black Antimatter and Chaos Nornstones. Like, hey, should I 6-star Quicksilver? Just wait. That's my best advice for you. While you may be on the right track in terms of choosing one or the other, my advice to you, what I would do if I was in your shoes, is just not do any of it. Just wait. Just keep grinding, keep doing all your daily tasks, keep finishing the content board, and then just save up all your shit. You know why I have 110 million gold? Because that's what I'm doing. I'm saving up all my shit, waiting to see what kind of shit Netmarble brings, so that I can take my shit and I can throw it at all the new shit that Netmarble shows when they show off their new shit, and then I'll have all the new shit when I use my saved up shit to get their new shit. Cool? Sounds good? Hopefully this video doesn't get demonetized, because this is probably the most that I've cussed in a while. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Subscribe if you enjoy the content and you want to support me. Hit the bell if you don't want to miss any of my videos. And of course, if you like what you see, I hope to see you again tomorrow. Take care.